Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back again with another reaction video, and we're going to be taking a look at another Naam video. This one's called Guru Nanak's Message Will Change the Way You Think.
Can't wait. Ready to be changed.
What does Guru Nanak Dev Ji mean to us? When we're talking about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, we're not just talking about a spiritual leader. We're talking about a visionary who played a role in reshaping society. You see, people always say, be the highest version of yourself. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji challenges us to be more than the best. Guru Nanak Dev Ji asks, what do you look like as the divine version of yourself? A version of yourself that's not motivated by fear, not motivated by money, by social acceptance, by fame, but fiercely motivated by compassion, equality, and fairness for all.
Holy crap, can that ever not be understated? What he just said there. What do you think of that? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I feel like it's maybe a practice that I should do more often, is try to, see myself from, a higher place rather than, some of the places I lack.
Well, the examples he even gave in terms of like not being consumed with fame and not being instead valuing very highly equality and fairness and all these things. We are in the West. That's where we are.
Yeah.
When you look around, when you go to the supermarket, I'm not talking about the micro systems that occur in small towns around the world. I'm not talking about everybody knows Cheryl at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a real attitude of valuing very deeply equality and fairness for all.
Yeah. And
extracting out some of those more egoic things, whatever the first ones were. The only one I saw was fame.
Yeah, and riches.
Right? We thrive on since the 80s. This has been since Reagan. It's been money, 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 money. Gordon Gekko, Wall Street, get your money, get out there and get money.
Yeah.
Imagine. So there should be a pause for thought. I challenge you, if you haven't already considered it, well, wait a sec. What kind of value would be found in this not so center, and when I say center, I still mean people that love their family. I die for my wife or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But does that extend outward to look at all the people in that picture?
Yeah, yeah.
All people, living, breathing, blood pumping through their veins people. I want every single one of them to have exactly what I have. No one's higher than the other person.
Yeah.
How rare and odd and not normal is that here in the West? It is not normal.
Yeah. And also, how do you do it and still make, systems function and society work?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. That's I'm not being mean to you.
Yeah,
I'm saying that is a real question.
Yeah. How do we make it work?
Because here it works with hierarchies, and it works with, if you stick it out for 20 years here, you're going to be the top dog. Then you're going to be the dog on top. Sending orders down to the little, hands that come on the younger folks that haven't put their time in yet.
Yeah.
That are not equal to you, don't have what you have.
Yeah.
If you're going to jump in with both feet to this, you actually have to consider quite deeply the complete opposite side of it, the value in being hierarchical. And things are not equal. Are you kidding me? That's pervoice. That's pervoice to have everything be equal. Some people don't deserve the same amount. All these things must be considered.
Guruji says something. Na ko mera dushman rahya, na hum kiske bairai. No one is my enemy and everyone is my friend. Do we see this reflected in our society today? We see division on lines of nationalism. We see distrust in leadership who don't seem to represent the needs of the common people. We even see a struggle to look after the environment against corporate greed. So how do we get to that position? Nirpau and nirvair, without hate, beyond opposition, beyond seeing anyone as different to you. Adopt a fearless commitment to seeing oneness in everyone. Fearless non-rivalry in our families. Non-rivalry in our communities. Non-rivalry in our society.
Do you think that what is happening here? You know, is this channel even sort of like a school for Jedis? Because you can't even talk about all this without like ignoring the fact that things seem to be working sort of tickety-boo no matter what phase of history you look at. It's all part of a progression and a progress. Mm. Is this a message to people thousands of years in the future that can actually pull it off? It seems like such a titanic ask of people.
Yeah.
You're essentially asking them to be monks. And, you know, if you think about that movie we watched, The Creator or whatever, right?
Yeah,
there was like a brief little scene in that where the military storms into the village and they line up the robot monks and they shoot them all. Yeah. They're like in their monk robes like this, like surrendered. They don't have weapons. They're monks for Pete's sake. Yeah. And the military, like, you know, representing the West, you know, if I may say so, or like, like, the question is, do you want to be that?
Yeah.
Do you want to be the one storming the thing? Because, you know, I was wise. I took care of mine. Well, do you want to be on the winning side, or do you want to be the enlightened guy that gets
I agree that
destroyed?
it's a monumental task. And I think that it's going to be something that slowly builds over time. But we're even seeing it now with the age of information and stuff like that. Information like this that would have been hidden. Like, I grew up in a world where I couldn't even watch a video like this. Now it's becoming more mainstream and people are able to find it. So the idea of being able to have a perception of oneness. Imagine if you looked at everyone through a lens of oneness. Like, you're the same as me. You're the same as me.
Yeah.
Imagine if every boss looked at every person as like, they're the same as me.
Yeah, that's me. That's some more of me over there.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a because I do kind of believe in sort of a collective consciousness or a collective subconscious. Maybe some of these things are giant shifts that sort of spread, like everybody like at the same time moves up a level consciously and they're like, I need to be more considerate of others. You know, really, it's like everything affects me, even my enemy. Maybe that is like part of it, you know.
We're not talking about treat everyone equally. Guruji says, I don't see you as an equal human being. I see the divine that is in you is also in me. I see oneness in everything. You see, seva isn't about helping the needy. Seva is worshipping the divine in everyone. With zero tolerance for discrimination, for distinction or segregation of any kind. Only then, if we're going to take on the values of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, is it worth celebrating the life and the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji.
Oh, what a good short video, making some good points. Near the tail end, the last thing I was thinking was, like a lot of what we were talking about was just our relationship with each other. Think about how much longer it's going to be before we kind of like gain that perception through the entire environment. You know, it makes me think about animals and plants and planets and solar systems. Yeah. You know, it's going to be something that's ever expanding where we start to, you know, because it's like I still eat meat, you know, and do I see the chicken and the cow as me? Right.
And then there's the whole thing, which I'm surprised you didn't bring up, because you often seem to lean to this way, which is like, well, maybe it's both type thing. The maybe it's both type thing where you can grow your spiritual side where you are looking more at everybody as oneness and like raising the things and people and animals around you's value in terms of like seeing it as divine, such as yourself, while maintaining sort of like a, you know, seeing the value in culture at where it's at, this sort of capitalistic, you know, industrious,
being patient, maybe, and waiting for things to evolve.
Patient. I mean, in a lot of ways, like you said, things have changed. This stuff wouldn't even have been accessible to us when we were kids.
Yeah.
And look at the stirring of that. So when you talk about equality, right, it's like, okay, well, all of a sudden things that are strange and confusing to you are equal, and now are talking in your ear at
Yeah.
parties. You know, and you're like, whoa, I thought I was on the page of this, but this person's value system are so different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, that has penetrated and infiltrated the West to some degree.
Yeah, yeah.
And look at the result of it. It's freaking chaos here. So that's important to keep in mind too, man. Just maybe a reverence for everything exactly where it is. You know, an attitude of never stop learning and observing and seeing where things are and where it's going.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll leave this video at that. If you liked it, guys, please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone, until next time, stay spiritual.